Hello guys, so it has been a while since I read Game Changers and it's finally time for me to read Heated Rivalry, of course. I am so excited, you don't even understand. It's been a couple of weeks since I watched the actual show and by now I have forgotten some parts of it, so I'm really excited to get back into the story and really get more details on the relationship and Shane and Ilya. Oh my gosh, I am missing them. I'm definitely missing the show, so I'm hoping this will fill that void for a bit. I'm really interested to see if I can spot the differences between the book and the show because I know there are some. I know they're not that major, I think, but I'm interested to see how it will translate and just how the relationship actually evolved. There's so many scenes I want to experience, so without further ado, let's get started. Bro, Rozanov just always has the best jokes. Like, I'm sorry. I love his freaking dry ass Russian humor. Yeah, I thought it was suspicious that it started in 2016 when I know it's a very decade long book. Wow, it's really cool for a prologue. It's definitely like it will grab you from the beginning of the book even if you don't know the premise of the book or like anything about the characters. This prologue does a really great job at grabbing your attention straight away. This is a very strong start to a book, and if you're not a romance fan, this is not for the weak, I feel like. I'm actually quite surprised at how much Shane hates Ilya. It very much surprised me because it didn't translate as much in the show, or at least I didn't pick up on it. And wow, yeah. If you don't know anything about Heated Rivalry, it is about two hockey players that have been in this kind of rivalry since their junior hockey. They first met at the junior championships in Canada, and Ilya Rozanov is a Russian-born player, but he ends up being drafted into Boston Bears. He's also kind of very jerky. He's not a very nice person. He's very standoffish, but I feel like that mostly translates because he uses his Russian humor and like how he got brought up. Then Shane Hollander is Canadian and he ends up being drafted second after Ilya, which is a big thing to them. And he's drafted into Montreal. Because Boston Bears and Montreal are massive arch rivals in hockey, they end up getting more time with each other. They play more games against each other, so their rivalry and their hatred grows. But Shane quickly discovers that he's also attracted to Ilya. So they kind of start having these secret meetups whenever they are in the same city together. And wow, yeah, guys, I can't even describe how intense those scenes are. And this is even more intense than the first book, and that was already a wild ride. Not that I'm complaining, once again. I really like it. It is now 2011. As you saw, the first chapter happens in 2008. Then in 2009, they get drafted, and that's kind of when their relationship starts. Situationship, I don't really know what to call it. So it's been 2 years, and they met up 3 times. And Shane kind of lives off of those meetups because he doesn't really have any other interactions like that with men outside of Ilya Rozanov. He's done stuff with girls, but he's kind of starting to learn that maybe girls are not his type. As you may know, I have been really into baking lately, and today is no other. I will be making a cake, a new banana cake recipe I found with cream cheese frosting. I'm going to prepare the ingredients and put my audiobook on while I bake because it just makes it nicer, you know? Can't wait to find out more of what happens. My gosh, the infamous LA MVP event. Ooh, it wasn't as angry in the book. Actually, quite gentle, more distinguished. I just got to the part where Shane and Ilya almost spent their first night together. Oh my gosh. Don't talk to me. What just happened between them was so precious to me. You don't even understand how precious that was. And gosh, the tuna melts. Ilya calling Shane Shane. Yeah. The hatred, as you might guess, yeah, it's gone. And you know what? That happened in 2016, November 2016. And you know, at the beginning of the book, when I said, oh my gosh, Shane hates Ilya so bad, that was in October 2016. So Shane, my guy, I think you were a little bit confused in the head because I know what you're feeling. I know what you're feeling right now. And those feelings can't change in a month. I feel like you've been denying yourself a little bit too long, and I know you can't stand it anymore. But you know who's entering the picture now. Rose Landry. Oh, Rose Landry, I love you, but I just can't do it right now. They just got to the club. I can't wait for the club scene in the book because in the show changed lives. Yeah, it literally changed lives. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I liked the scene in the show more just because of how intense it was. It was just filled with tension. Like, I don't think you can really beat that. But they didn't change much from the book. I don't think they changed anything, really. I don't think there's many changes from the books to the show, actually. I really admire that. Okay, I kind of like how they handled the Rose Landry situation better in the book. I feel like it wasn't as, I don't know, as big of a thing in the book. Like, she's still a character and she still has a lot of influence on the plot, but it doesn't make Shane look mischievous for entertaining it, and there's not as much focus on the relationship either. I understand, like, for the show they kind of had to make it a little bit more of a thing, but I do have to say this book moves way quicker than I thought it was going to be. I'm halfway through, I think, And so much stuff happened. We are now getting so much more character depth and character development and kind of like that questioning of what it is they're feeling and all of that, which I am really, really enjoying in the second part. I feel like the first half of the book is very much focused on the physical stuff, which makes sense because that's just how they started and that's all it was to them. But now, you know. Of course, right where the Scott and Kip moment happens, I forget to put my mic on. Guys, Ilya's coming to the cottage. Honestly, I loved that moment even more in the show, similarly to the club scene. I feel like it was done so well in the show. Like, we had the whole anticipation building and building and building. Like, wow. And here it just like happens instantly, which I kind of get because obviously we had the moment in the first book already with so much detail, so it doesn't really matter as much. But I can't wait for the cottage, you guys. The way Shane's cottage has not only an indoor hockey rink, fake hockey rink, it also has a hot tub, a pool table, 4 bedrooms, 5 if you include his. What else does he have? Oh my god. Oh my god. The long game. Oh my gosh, I didn't know we would get like things that we didn't see in the series. Okay, wow. This was definitely I was gonna say a wild ride, but it was exactly what I was expecting based on the show. I think I can't believe I'm saying this because it's not really a thing for me to prefer the show or a movie instead of the book, but I feel like the show made the book even better than it actually is. The adaptation is so close to the source material that when you read it, you're not really surprised by anything. It doesn't really add anything, which is why I'm really sad that I didn't read it first. But I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it before the show, guys. I know, it's like horrible that I didn't. And I'm really mad at myself because why? How could I not? I feel like the show took some scenes and propelled them to another level. Like I said before, the club scene, I feel like it captures so many emotions, like that absolute yearning, but knowing that you can't have what you want, and just like desperation. And then the scene where they're watching Scott and Kip on television, that in the show captures so much emotions from both Shane and Ilya. They're both just like so starstruck and just absolutely bewildered and feeling so much hope and feeling just so much. There's so much feelings in that scene, and I feel like in the book it's not portrayed as much because we already had that scene, you know, in the first book. So of course we're not getting as much in this, although I wish dual POV during that scene, like switching in between both Ilya and Shane, I feel like that would have been so powerful because it would capture that intensity of their emotions, being in awe of what is happening and actually not believing what is happening and just feeling that there's something else that they could do other than what they're doing. I mean, I still obviously enjoyed this book and this is a 4-star read for me. The bonus content, it's not pointless content. It's actually just another chapter that we didn't get in the show. I absolutely loved that. Oh gosh, guys, I can't wait for the long game, and I don't know if I'm gonna read that first or the other books. I feel like I'm gonna read the other books, even though I'm just like buzzing to get to the long game and find out what is gonna happen with Shane and Ilya. But I know I have to pace myself because I am actually going to just blow apart. So I know I have to stop myself, yeah. As we had in the first book, the explicit scenes, yes, at first they were just explicit scenes, but after the first few, the characters are changing, their perceptions are changing, and I really thought that we really captured that even with just like the explicit scenes. I feel like the first book definitely talks more about the homophobia of the sport, and I think that's why we don't really tackle as much of it in this book, because the first book is definitely much more about that. There is definitely more discourse about it. We definitely dive deeper into how those characters are feeling about it, but because we have that already, obviously this book is so much different. This book focuses much more on what our characters are feeling for the other person, much more. Like we had that in the first book, but I feel like it was so overshadowed by that guilt and shame and coming out and being scared to come out, that this book had the ability to dive just deep into how our characters are feeling without being just scared of coming out, because they don't really plan on doing that. Scott, I feel like he planned it, and he was a more mature person, because obviously when we meet Shane and Ilya, they're both like 17, 18-year-olds. They're just babies. They're figuring out life. They don't even know anything about each other, about their own selves. And I feel like that was really captured in this book. Getting such a great adaptation is so rare, and to have it be a gay love story, yeah, it's just beautiful to me, and I can't wait for more to come. But this will be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will definitely be diving more into this series very soon. But see you in the next one. Bye!